Okay, so very quickly, we want to practice finding solution by square root, just some extra problems to practice with. I hope you've already done this. You can pause the video, try them out, and then when you're done, you play them and see how well you did. Okay, let's go. The first thing we'll do here is to take the square root of both sides. So if I do that, I would have x over 2 is equal to square root of 9, which should give you plus 3 or minus 3, which means we're going to have x over 2 is equal to 3 or x over 2 is equal to negative 3. If the first is true, then that would mean that x would equal 6. Maybe you cross multiply or however you worked around that. And for this one, it would mean x is equal to negative 6. So here's the deal. You can take these numbers, plug them back in, and just confirm that you would get the same thing, right, with either number. So this is the first one. That's good. For this one, the first thing we'll do is, I think, maybe add 10 to both sides so that we have x plus 3 squared minus 10 is equal to 54. If I add 10 to both sides, I would have x plus 3 squared is equal to 64. Now I take square root of both sides. Since it's a positive number, I'm going to have two solutions. So I'm going to have x plus 3 is equal to 8, or x plus 3 can be equal to negative 8. Solving this, I would have x is equal to 8 minus 3, so x is equal to 5. On the other hand, I would have x is equal to minus 8 minus 3, so x can also be negative 11. So these are the two solutions. These are the two values for x that if we plug into this, we would get 54. Both sides of the equation will be balanced. Okay, the next one is this. Now, let me just say this up front. What people might have had an issue here with likely would have been the idea of maybe trying to multiply into the bracket first, right? That would be where, okay, there's likely to be an issue. But you can't do that because basically, because of this square here, that makes this more like a single block. You have to treat this like a single block. So you need to remove everything else before you come to the power, right? Also, if you consider your BODMAS or PEMDAS, that's your order of operations, you know that the exponent or the power has more preference than the multiplication or the subtraction. So you need to take care of the other ones first before you come to the square. Anyway, we have a topic on change of surrogate of formula, and you might want to review that if you had an issue with this particular question. Okay, so let's work this out. The first thing we'll do is we'll add 10 to both sides. That would give us negative 2 brackets x minus 3 squared is equal to 0. The next thing would be to divide both sides by negative 2. So I'm going to have x minus 3 squared is equal to 0 divided by negative 2 would give you 0, so we move on. Now I take the square root. I would have x minus 3 is equal to square root of 0, which basically gives me 0, which means I have just one solution. In fact, once I knew I had to take the square root of 0, I knew I would have one solution, right? If I move this 3 over, I would have x is equal to 0 plus 3, so that means x is equal to 3. X is equal to 3. Simple enough. Okay, for this one here, same thing, right? We would want to work with the negative 7 first before we maybe cross multiply. Let's see how that works. We'll have x plus 11 squared over 2 minus 7 is equal to minus 3. So I'm moving the minus 7 now. I would have x plus 11 squared over 2 is equal to minus 3 plus 7 is equal to minus 3 plus 7. Yeah, I'm right. So we'd have x plus 11 all squared over 2 gives me 4. Hold up, I'm just checking my math. Yeah, this gives me 4. So if I multiply both sides by 2, I would have x plus 11 squared is equal to 8. X plus 11 all squared is equal to 8. So take square root of both sides. I would have x plus 11 is equal to square root of 8. So that will be positive root 8 on negative root 8. Root 8 is 2.83. So that's 2.83 or minus 2.83. Okay, so if x plus 11 is equal to 2 plus 0.83, or x plus 11 is equal to minus 2.83. Trying to squeeze that in. Okay, good. So x would be equal to, if I move this over here, that would mean, subtracting, yeah? If I move that over there, I would have 2.83 minus 11, or x is equal to minus 2.83 plus 11. Okay, so my two values for x are, sorry I'm having to minus the space, are 2.83 minus 11, which is minus 8.17, or on the other hand would have 8.17, positive 8.17. No, hold up, that should be minus, sorry, my bad. So that'll be minus 13.83. Okay, minus 13.83. I didn't use my space properly and I apologize. I hope we can see this. Minus 13.83. Okay, so here are our solutions. Minus 8.17 or minus 13.83. For this one we had x is equal to 3. For this one we had 5 or minus 11. And for this one we had 6 or negative 6.